homes and these spaces so we can invite people into them. And it doesn't have to be this Instagram-worthy space in order for you to invite someone into it. It just has to feel warm, and it has to feel like you. Hello everybody, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Caitlin, and I run the blog called Mrs. Midwest. I write about women's heart and mind issues, as well as things related to femininity, character growth, and just in general, how can we thrive as women in this modern day and age and really connect with our inner self. So there's a few things today that I am so happy about. I swear every single time I pop onto YouTube and refresh my page, there are even more subscribers than I ever really thought possible. And the wonderful thing is, as you guys have been following me on Instagram, I've kind of looked at some of your profiles and I've seen that there are so many women from the international realm. There are women from as far as Australia to Trinidad, Sri Lanka, Bolivia, Argentina, Portugal, Britain, just to name a few. I am so shocked every single time I see how far this message is spreading, but I'm honestly so happy. So I would just encourage you today and always, if you ever feel isolated in your beliefs, remember that, first of all, yes, I am here supporting you, but there is also so many other women out there. So today, I just give a warm thank you to everybody who has subscribed and joined this community, and an extra warm thank you to everyone who has sent me a wonderfully encouraging message and followed me on Instagram. It is so wonderful to see all of you and to build this community. So thank you. Thank you to every single one of you. You guys are wonderful. So as I mentioned in some of my other videos, one of the ways we can continue to cultivate that nurturing, creative, feminine spirit is by nurturing our environment, our nest. So yes, today is all about nesting. Our nest is the place where we live. It is the place that we were blessed with. That could be a home. In my case, it is a home. My wonderful husband, he has purchased a home for us. So I live in a home and that's my nest. For other women, maybe you live with your parents and it's your bedroom, or you live with roommates, so it's like your bedroom and then the kitchen once a week or whatever. It could be a condo, an apartment, wherever you live. That's your nest. And the reason I like to call it a nest and not an environment is because a nest is something that we have the power to care for and shape and create, and it's yours and it's your space. Whereas an environment, I feel like that's just something external that's all around us, that it's a little bit more hands-off. So I want to take this perspective where our nest is something we are totally involved and invested in, and we have control over it. So please remember that as I'm talking about this isn't stuff that's outside of your control. I'm not telling you to go downstairs and redecorate your mom's living room. No, this is stuff that you are in charge of. So we as feminine women have the capacity and responsibility to nurture that nest. I am old-fashioned and I subscribe to the idea and concept of a woman's touch. I don't think every woman is equally skilled at decorating or even equally interested in decorating, but I think most women on average have an interest in nesting. And I've even noticed with myself, as I've gotten married and I'm very settled in my life, I can feel that nesting spirit coming out even more. You know, when I was more transient, when I was in college, in university, I didn't have that need as much to settle down and make my space beautiful, because I was like, oh, I don't know how long I'm going to be here. But once I got settled in a home and I began taking pride in my femininity and nurturing my femininity, naturally I began nurturing my nest as well. And again, nesting does go with homemaking. It does. That is what I do at home. But it's not only reserved for homemakers. You can focus on nurturing your nest, whether you are banging out a wonderful career, or you're a student, or you're not even married. You can be in any stage of life and focus on nurturing your nest as a feminine woman. So now that we have established what our nest is, I want to briefly touch on why this is important for feminine women. as I mentioned before, it has a level to do with responsibility. I believe that as we grow up to be responsible, stable women, we need to take responsibility for our nest, the place we live, the place we have control over. So yes, responsibility and just being a good person. But then I think there's this second side to it where it's a way to express yourself and a way to really get in touch with that creative energy within you. And I think it can be really fun and life-giving to focus on nurturing our nest, and it can be very healthy for us. It can benefit our mental health to have a nice warm place to live and a clean environment, and I do think it affects our productivity and our overall happiness. So we are going to dive in today about the disciplined side of nesting and then the creative side. Let's begin with the creative side of nesting. So as I talked about, nesting is about beautification, but I do not believe that means that you need to spend tons of money on your nest. I believe that we can build up great decor over time into a place that feels warm. And that's what I would focus on above else. Don't focus on trends. Don't focus on, oh, this has to be super posh looking. Focus on, how does this make me feel? Can people feel warm when they come into this space? Because that's ultimately what nesting is about. It's about creating a space where you can host other people and where you can also feel blessed yourself. And so just because something is trendy and cool doesn't mean that space is going to feel warm and inviting. You know, I think a lot more can be accomplished just by someone taking pride in their space and putting some of their favorite colors up, putting up a favorite picture, and feeling like, yes, this is my space. Nesting isn't about spending a ton of money, and we need to be careful with buying too many things. You know, I feel like especially in Western culture, and in American culture, we consume so many things, and I am not a believer in just buying. You know, I like to pick pieces over a long period of time and build up my collection and then leave it at that. You know, I always tell my husband, I want to have the same armchairs when I'm 80 that we have right now. You know, I want to maintain the things I have and care for them. And so just because I like interior design and just because I like nesting doesn't give me the go-ahead to go spend tons of money on it. You know, I think it's important to remain balanced where our nest doesn't consume us. We're not doing it for other people. You know, if you're decorating your house just because it's gonna look good on Instagram, like, what kind of life is that to live? You know, that's not cool. Decorate your house how you want to decorate it. You know, fill your space with things that you like. Maybe you're not gonna have this posh home with Scandinavian furniture and like very chic wall art, but you have a home that's warm and the colors kind of go together and you feel good when you enter it. You know, that's a successful nest. You know, you don't have to have this Pinterest-worthy home. You know, just fill it with colors that you like. Put some plants in your home, flowers. You know, just focus on making it something that reflects you and things that you like. And don't be so stressed about trends. I think it's important to avoid becoming discontent with our homes and our home decor just because we're consuming a lot of home renovation shows. You know, it's a lot of fun to see a really hideous broken space be transformed into this beautiful, you know, renovated space. But I think there's also this like expectation then that we put on ourselves that we all have to have these like very trendy, perfect looking homes if we want people to come over. And I think that can actually inhibit a lot of hospitality and a lot of wonderful hosting that the feminine woman should be taking place in. You know, we have these homes and these spaces so we can invite people into them. And it doesn't have to be this Instagram-worthy space in order for you to invite someone into it. It just has to feel warm and it has to feel like you. And so I would encourage you, as you're expressing yourself in your space, don't get boxed into what's trendy. Don't get boxed into what the world says that you should decorate, you know? Decorate how you want to and begin to express yourself. Focus on nurturing your space through your creativity and beautifying it, but don't get boxed into those trends and the world that says you need to knock out all the walls in your house and spend tons of money. No, You could live in a dingy apartment and make it your own without renovating a thing, and you could still have a warm and inviting space. It's all about what you do with what you're given, and also learning to be content with it, and know that just because it's not trendy doesn't mean it can't be warm and inviting. All right, second part of nurturing femininity through nesting is all about discipline. I talk about discipline and responsibility a lot on my channel. Discipline in nesting is about nurturing and caring for diligently the things we've been given, and in this case it is our nest, it is our home. So that includes cleaning, organizing, and tidying. Cleaning to me is about dirt, dust, yucky stuff you want to remove from the house. Organizing is about making sure everything goes back in its place. And then tidying is like daily light cleaning that you can do to continually create that warm, inviting space we were just talking about. So I would encourage you all to begin including, which is cleaning, into your daily life. You know, my mother was so wonderful at teaching me this growing up. She had obviously a very decorated, wonderful space. She's very talented, but she also cleaned, and she kept such a clean home. Not everybody is going to be a very skilled decorator. Not everybody's going to know what looks good. Not everybody has that gift. Fine. But you know what we all can do? We can all clean. Remaining clean is a blessing to yourself. It's a blessing to your family, and it's a blessing to your mind, as well as the people you have over to your house. Keeping a clean space is essential. Hi. My dog is here. Keeping a clean space is essential for mental peace. You know, your outward environment does impact how you feel inside. It has the power to help you be productive or help you feel stressed out, and it can push you in either of those ways. And so I would encourage you, above all else, if you get nothing from this video, please focus on cleaning and tidying your space. Tidying is beautification. It's about nurturing things we've been given. It's about maintaining things so we can own them for a long period of time. You know, there is this trend in modern culture to buy things, and when they start wearing out a little bit, we just get rid of them and we buy something new. But when we maintain and clean and spend time caring for our nest, we can have a lot more instances where we notice something is getting a bit worn out. So we clean it and mend it and work on it, and then we get to keep that thing for a lot longer. And this is all about living a more longevity-focused life, less of a temporal life in the moment. Beautifying a space and being creative is more than decorating. It's also about making sure that there's not mental clutter all the way around. So remove all those papers, sort your papers, get a filing cabinet, put things back to where they belong, and make sure that you're keeping your space beautiful for you, because you are the one that gets to enjoy it every day. Clean your room. Take responsibility for your space and express yourself. So yes, a small fraction, a small part of nesting is about decorating. It's about creativity and beautifying, but it's also mostly about making sure your space is just tidy, picked up, and warm and inviting. And you can do that if you have a really small budget or a large budget. You know, you don't need to spend a lot of money to warm up a space. I think that we can be more productive when we are in a clean space, and we will also be more apt to host people in that space and be hospitable to others, because we feel confident that our space is clean, tidy, picked up, and beautiful. If you want to be happier, try cleaning your space. Try making sure that your kitchen is picked up every single day. If I have a lot of cleaning to do, I will put my headphones on, play a long podcast or a playlist, and just start going. I make it fun for myself. And as I'm cleaning, I remind myself, I am so thankful for this house. I am thankful for these dishes. I am thankful for this kitchen. And because I'm so thankful for it, I'm going to care for it. And that's what femininity does. You know, we have this nurturing spirit, and if you're not feeling like nurturing something, sometimes I think it's because we're taking it for granted. So don't take your space for granted. Even if you just have a bedroom at your parents' house, don't take that for granted. You know, clean that space, bless that space, and in turn you'll be blessing yourself. So in total, remember that nesting does not mean knocking out the walls in your house. It doesn't mean you have to have this super overly decorated, perfect space. It's all about keeping a space warm and inviting, first of all, and then second of all, tidy, clutter-free, and clean. And through the process, you are actually nurturing your femininity because you're nurturing your space and you're bringing out those qualities of beautification, nurturing, tending, and creativity. Nesting can be so fun and life-giving, even the cleaning parts, but you just have to make it fun for you. So don't forget to turn on some music or a podcast when you're cleaning, and remember that when you are maintaining and caring for your space, you're showing that you're grateful for the things you've been given and you're tending to those things. And so it's all about gratitude in the end. All right, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. Please drop a like on this video, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a new video. If you are interested in seeing what I as a homemaker do on a day-to-day basis, please follow me on Instagram. I always put it on my stories. And if you are hungry for more of this content, check out my written blog where I write about all of these topics and more. So thank you so much for joining, and I hope you have a blessed and wonderfully feminine day.